Hello my perfect people, and welcome back to How to Create a Perfect Tactic, where I pick a specific team and try and create a perfect tactic for them. In this case, we have selected Chelsea and Lukaku. My word, he scored over 90 goals in all competitions. Chelsea scored 148 league goals, so I cannot wait to get stuck into this. So if you are new or you haven't yet, make sure you are subscribed, make sure you like this video, leave a comment. I mean, all of that stuff really will help the channel. You can share the video if you want as well. Shout out to my Patreons, but without the further hold up, let's get stuck in. And also, this perfect video is sponsored by the perfect fantasy football app, SPITCH. SPITCH is a fantasy football app that allows you to build your own team, where your captain also will be earning some double points, and you can go to battle with your team in competitions against friends or even against someone like myself. The app is also free. You can pay to enter some competitions, but generally the app is free. You can enter free competitions where you can win your fair share of £70,000. Now that is one huge injection. And another great thing about this app as well, it's not just based off one season. There are weekly competitions where you can win some cash. If you need stats such as goals, key passes, assists, all of that stuff is inside the app. Of course, if you need help as well, the help is inside the app. UK users have to be 18 years or over, and UK users have to provide their ID once they submit their first team. So make sure you download this app. Make sure you download it. It will help the channel out massively, but also you can have some fun on the SPITCH fantasy football app. The link is in the description. Have a go. Now let's talk about this perfect tactic. So welcome, and as you can see, Chelsea are sitting on top of the league, and as you can also see, we do have that Champions League final to play. And yes, I did try and fit the word perfect as many times as I could in the intro. So in this video, the structure, I will be showing you guys some results, then we will create that perfect tactic, and then lastly, to close off this video, we will play a game or two. It depends on the runtime of this video, but we will play that all-important Champions League final, and we can play a derby, I suppose, against Tottenham Hotspur at Stamford Bridge. So I'm not going to talk too much. We're going to get stuck right into the results. So looking at the competitions, you can see that we were pretty dominant. We won the Premier League, we won the Super Cup, the FA Cup, and also the Carabao Cup, but we do have that Champions League final to play. So in the Premier League, you can see that we played 38, we won 33, we drew 3, losing 2 games. Those 2 losses came away to Manchester United and also Liverpool. I mean, the downside possibly is that we didn't beat the top 3 teams away, or any of the top 3 teams away. So that's Manchester City, that's Liverpool, and that's Man United. But the good thing is that we didn't get absolutely smashed on our travels as well. Lukaku scored 75 Premier League goals. His average rating 8.65. Marcus Alonso there as well, creeping in at 7.95. Mason Mount has a nice 17 assists to his name. Ben Chilwell has 11, and Lukaku has 20 Man of the Match awards. What a guy. So looking at the stats in a teeny bit more detail, you can see that Chelsea scored 148 goals, and nearly messed up my words there. For the most points per game, 2.68, it goes to Chelsea. We had the most shots for as well. We were pretty attacking. For the shots against, we come in 3rd, best pass completion and most possession. I mean, we're not in the top 8, but we don't necessarily care about that, because all we want to do is score goals. Dribbles made, 517 dribbles made. Most clean sheets, we come in 5th, but for the fewest conceded, surprisingly, it is Chelsea with the fewest conceded with 33. Now looking at the player stats, Romelu, big Lukaku, no Timberland boots today. He's got 75 goals. Let me repeat, he's got 75 goals in the Premier League. I mean, it's mental. Timo Werner again creeping in with 15. Mason Mount with 17 assists. Chilwell with 11. We've already said that. Saul Niguez with 10 assists, and Reece James also with 10 assists. Lukaku has the most shots, but are we really surprised? Kai Havertz creeping up in that list as well. Lukaku with the most Man of the Match awards. I don't think I've ever seen 20. I don't think I have. Most key passes, Mason Mount there. Reece James also 3rd in that list. Best pass completion, like I said, we don't necessarily care about that. Most tackles won, N'Golo Kante. Now this is very rewarding, and you will see why. And well, you know what, let me just spoil it. Spoiler alert, N'Golo Kante was the ball winning midfielder. We are using the ball winning midfielder. I believe a ball winning midfielder is the best role for Kante. It says it here also. this backs up my point. But Kante is second with the most tackles won. For the dribbles made, Ben Chilwell and Reece James third and fourth respectively. Most clean sheets, Edouard Mendy in fifth place, and for the fewest conceded, Edouard Mendy in third. We can quickly look at some scores where, some really high scoring games where we smashed Aston Villa 8-0, and then in the very next game, we smashed Norwich 8-0. And we scored a lot of goals during the season. Of course we did. You can see 5-1 there, another 5-1. Against Manchester City, we beat them 2-1 at home. Burnley 4-1, Watford 4-1. There's a lot of 4-1s. There's a 4-4 here as well against PSG away from home. Brighton 5-0. We beat Tottenham 7-2 at home. Of course, I played that, but at the end of this video, I might also replay that because I did save as before this game. In the Club World Championship, we also won 10-0 as well. I'm sure we smashed Aston Villa 8-0. There we are. We smashed Crystal Palace 8-0. Burnley as well 6-0. Norwich 4-0, 5-0. Whatever the scores were, it was a lot, like 21 Savage would say. Looking at the attacking efficiency, we were aggressive, we were clinical. Defensively, we were quiet and impenetrable. Looking at our scoring, attacking metrics, we were high scoring, high quality shooting. For the shooting, we were aggressive, high quality as well. For the crossing, just look at this. A lot of crosses and also accurate as well. By far the best crossing team in the league. And looking at the XG table, we did create an XG of 114.8. We overperformed by 33. For the expected goals against, we were expected to concede around 32.5. Round that up, that's 33. That is the exact number of goals conceded. And looking at the points as well, we overperformed by 13, getting, I'm not exactly sure how many points we got. And my maths is not that great, 102 points. Lastly, looking at the squad stats, Lukaku, big man Lukaku. He's got 94 goals. I think I said 91. He's actually scored 94, so I'm actually cheating myself here. Timo Werner has scored 31 goals in all competitions. Kai Havertz, who actually started as the main striker, scored 18, but Timo Werner, he just started banging. Mason Mount scored 13, Mateo Kovacic scored 11, and now looking at the top assists, Mason Mount with 24, Kai Havertz, Hakim Ziyech and Reece James all on 17, Ben Chilwell on 15, so is Lukaku, Saul Niguez on 14. He's not great in real life. I have made him great again. No Donald Trump. Cesar Azpilicueta, I struggled to say his name. He's got 14 assists. And N'Golo Kante has 11. Even the goalkeeper, Kepa has 2 assists. And Edouard Mendy has an assist. Literally everybody that has played the game has an assist. Incredible. It's possibly the same for goals scored as well, apart from the 2 goalkeepers. Yeah, it is. It's absolutely mental. This tactic could be broken, but now let's get stuck in to how we actually created it. So like in my previous how to create a perfect tactic, how I kind of create the shape, the formation is basically looking at the best players in the team. So I kind of sort the players out by their ability or the assistant coach's opinion of who the best players are in this team, and then I kind of work my way out from there. So what we can actually do is just go back to the tactics screen here. It's just a standard 4-4-2, and then we can also put reports here, and here we can also see again the ability of some of these players. So what we can do is just start filling them in. We will have a rough idea of who we actually want to use as well. So of course N'Golo Kante we want to use, Reece James, big Romelu Lukaku, Timo Werner possibly, but admittedly at the start I wasn't sold on him, so at this moment I would just leave him out. Antonio Rudiger, of course. Kai Havertz was actually the starting striker with Lukaku, but again, we'll just leave him out for a second. Ben Chilwell, Mason Mount, of course we want to put him in. Mateo Kovacic. I noticed that the central midfield was an absolute strong point of this tactic. So once I started filling it in like this, I noticed actually we don't have many top wingers. We have decent wingers. We have Christian Pulisic, we have Hudson-Odoi, Hakim Ziyech can play out wide, so can Mason Mount, and that is actually the key phrasing. They can play out wide. Just because they can play out wide, it doesn't necessarily mean that is their best position. Now I believe Mason Mount's best position essentially Hakim Ziyech as well. To get the best out of him, possibly you can use him essentially as an advanced playmaker, but he may equally be as good out on that right flank, cutting inside, creating on the flanks as well. But that leaves us with just one very good winger, and that is not great when we're trying to create the perfect tactic. So straight away I noticed this is going to be a narrow tactic and we are going to be playing without wingers. So this leaves us with a few options. Either we could go for a tactic like this. It is a 4-1-3-2, and I thought That's boring. It's boring. I've already done this. I've already done this tactic. Bear in mind, I've done about 24 free throws and I don't care about that. But I've already done this tactic. I liked how it performed, but I thought, let's go one step more attacking, if that makes sense. Let's go one step ahead and put that DM in attacking midfield, and then voila, we have a 4-3-1-2. And in this shape, we can kind of get the best out of certain players. So we just switch these two here, and that just leaves us with most of the players in their best positions. We can also fill in the centre back. We have Christensen, Thiago Silva. It doesn't matter. Thiago Silva is obviously the more experienced one, so I'll go with him. And that leaves us to fill in this striker spot where we can play Timo Werner or we can play Kai Havertz. We have a little bit more options basically than we would if we had wingers. So this is how I basically came up with the shape, the 4-3-1-2. Bear in mind, this was a perfect tactic for Chelsea. So now we know the shape. Now we know roughly the best 11. I mean, we can fill in the striker role as well. Put Kai Havertz there for the time being. So now we have the players positioned. We have to fill out their roles. Of course we do. And we can always start with a goalkeeper. We can start with Edouard Mendy, sweeper keeper on support. He has the attributes for it as well. So, I mean, we're just going to go for the sweeper keeper on support. You can't go wrong with that. Now, looking at the fullbacks, well, first of all, we have to look at the shape. And the first thing that you will notice that we don't have any wingers. So we know already from the get-go, these wingers have to get further forward. These wingers have to be advanced. They have to be prepared to get forward and to get back as well. So we know we're not going to be using a defensive role here, and we know it's possibly a wing back on support or a wing back on attack. So we do have 3 versions of this tactic as well, and the main version, the home version, the main version, you will be using a wing back on attack, and then for the away version, you will be using a wing back on support. You will notice there's not actually a huge difference. There's not a huge difference, but with the attacking duty, they tend to act a little bit more individual, where they'll get the ball and they'll dribble with it. That is one of the main differences. And of course, the player's positioning with attack, naturally, he's going to be a little bit more advanced than the player on support, which can help you not get caught on the break when you are playing away from home. So for the home version, you will be using wing back on attack. For the away version, you will be using a wing back on support. And again, just looking at these players' profiles, these players can handle the job. Reece James is lacking with the dribbling, to be fair, but elsewhere he is a fantastic wing back. But we could also do some of the player instructions as well. So for the Ben Chilwell, the left wing back, he will be sitting more narrower and he will be taking more risk. The taking more risk will make more sense a little bit later when we fill in the player roles ahead of him. And then for the wing back on the right, he will be sitting more narrow. The goalkeeper, by the way, he does have pass it shorter. Now, moving on to defense, we're just going to play with 2 ball playing defenders because I know, again, these players are capable of playing that role. Thiago Silva, for an example, he has 14 first touch, passing 13, vision 13, his techniques 13. He likes to play his way out from trouble. For their player instructions, both of them, they have identical instructions, which is dribble more. So when they're on the ball, they will look to bring the ball forward. And you will see why in the match engine why I've done this. Sometimes there can be a bit of a gap between central defense and central midfield. And rather than the centre backs trying to ping the ball, they also have the option just to bring the ball forward and basically bring the ball forward more close to a passing option. So he's got dribble more and he's also got stay wide as well, which just helps us when we are playing out from the back. He's stretching the pitch and just allowing us to play out from the back more seamlessly. Now in midfield, N'Golo Kante, now we've already spoken about this a little earlier. I mean, his best role is, of course, a ball-winning midfielder on support. And why wouldn't we want to use that? His first touch is decent, but I mean, I don't even know why I started with the first touch. His tackling, his teamwork, his work rate, his determination, his concentration, anticipation, absolutely fantastic. His aggression, bravery, all spot on. I mean, there's no other role that we could have went with, to be honest. So bear in mind, if you are using this tactic, if you do plan to use this tactic, you might want to use possibly a different role if you do not have a Kante in your side, or just buy one. Just buy a decent ball-winning midfielder. He doesn't have to be a Kante exactly, but just buy a very decent ball-winning midfielder. Now we can move to the left to Mateo Kovacic. We can look at his attributes and see what he's good at as well. So his player traits, he comes deep to get the ball, which you could say conflicts with the role that I've actually given him. But he does like to play 1-2s and he does like to run with the ball often as well. So I did need someone to break from midfield. So we have 3 central midfielders here, and there's no point in having all of these 3 central midfielders just sitting. One of them needs to break. At least one of them needs to break. One of them needs to go. One of them needs to support their attack. And I have chosen Mateo Kovacic for that person. We didn't use a Mazzala, we went for the central midfielder, but on attack. Again, when we look at the attributes for the central midfielder on attack, Mateo Kovacic is someone that can play this role. He can perform very good in this role. He's got the anticipation, the composure, the decisions, the flair. The off the ball movement is kind of average, but it's there. Acceleration, agility as well. He is a very decent and versatile attacking player, and for his instructions, he's going to dribble more, take more risk. He's also going to stay wider. He's going to shift out wide when we're building, when we're progressing, and this just means that wing back on the left is not isolated, and he's also going to tackle harder, be a little bit more aggressive in his challenge. Now you can kind of see why I've asked Ben Chilwell to take more risk, because now he's got some players to look for. He's got Mateo Kovacic attacking, breaking the channels on the left hand side, and he's also got the advanced forward, or I've kind of spelled it again. He's also got the attacker on the left hand side to play that risky pass, to play that key pass, to unlock the defense, and that is why I have asked Ben Chilwell or the left back to play more risky passes. Now for the Jorginho role, admittedly I did want to start Saul Niguez, and that's mainly because of his agility, his movement. He's got a bit more movement than Jorginho, I find. I believe he has the legs to be energetic, which is why I chose on the right hand side a box-to-box midfielder. But I did play Jorginho in this role, and he played absolutely fantastically. So I didn't feel there was any need to change this role again from Jorginho. And again, he does have a player trait that does kind of conflict with that player role, which is come deep to get the ball. But nevertheless, he does play really well in his role. And it's not to say that he can't play well in this role as well. If we select here and look at box to box, I mean, the assistant says that he's good in this role, and you could just look at the attributes as well and judge for yourself. He can play in this role. He lacks the finishing, but he doesn't necessarily need that. He lacks the dribbling, he lacks the aggression, the acceleration, which is why I picked Saul Niguez. Here you can kind of see why I wanted Saul Niguez, but he does have the stamina over Saul. He does have the work rate, the teamwork as well, and he did perform in this role, so I didn't feel the need to change him. And his instructions, fairly aggressive. He's going to get further forward, stay wider, dribble more, take more risk, and tackle hard. Again, dribble more. This was because at first it was Saul Niguez, it wasn't Jorginho. So that is one reason why, well, that is the reason why I also added dribble more on the box-to-box midfielder on the right. Now, woo, let's move over to Mason Mount. Originally, this tactic was designed kind of to get the best out of the playmaker, and Lukaku just stole the show. But originally, it was actually to get the best out of the playmaker. Hakim Ziyech, Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, whoever was in this role had to be on their A game, which is why I went with the advanced playmaker on support. It's not a role that many of us go for, and it's not a role that a lot of people can get the best out of. But if you look to Mason Mount, I mean, we already saw that he had the most number of assists. He played 29 in the league, 17 assists, an average rating of 7.65 in all competitions, an average rating of 7.58. He did break his foot, by the way, as well. His added instruction is dribble more, roam from position, and also tackle harder. I mean, we all know anybody that can play in this role. So that's Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, and Hakim Ziyech. They are all more than capable of playing as an advanced forward. Now let's move up to the striker roles, and number one, how to get the best out of Lukaku. To get the best out of Lukaku, I mean, you've got a lot of choices. This is pretty much down to you. You can use him as a deep line forward, a target forward, a poacher, a complete forward. There's not really one role that you would say. And now I might actually backtrack on that statement, because I obviously scored 94 goals with Romelu Lukaku, big Timberland. So it could be safe to say that the advanced forward was the best role for Lukaku. And surprisingly, he's operating on the right hand side of the attack as well. Yes, on the right hand side. So, I mean, we got the best out of Lukaku. If we hover over his side preference, he has no side preference, so it didn't really matter if he was on the left or if he was on the right, and he absolutely banged on the right. Now let's talk about Kai Havertz, because originally he did start out as the false nine. This was how I was going to get the best out of Kai Havertz, and like I said, he did start the season. Timo Werner ended the season, and the reason why Timo Werner ended the season is because the false nine, it's not really effective with the advanced playmaker. Sometimes he comes in the the exact zone that I want the advanced playmaker to be and operate in. And you don't want players in the same zone as the advanced playmaker. The advanced playmaker, he should be getting the ball and looking for players in different zones, looking to break down the opposition. So the false nine and the advanced playmaker, I kind of knew before doing that it wasn't the best idea, but I thought at the same time, let's just try it, let's just experiment. He did score about 3-4 goals. He didn't really create anything though, and it did, well, I'll say put a damper on Mason Mount, but I wouldn't necessarily say that, because then I switched to advanced forward Timo Werner. Let's bring him in now. And then Mason Mount's performance increased, and so did the striker on the left hand side. So for their player roles, Lukaku, big lax, he's got dribble more, take more risk. And for Timo Werner, he has dribble more, take more risk, but also roam from his position. And that there is the player roles. That is how I came up with the formation and the player roles and their instructions. Now it's time to talk about you could say the most important bit, the team instructions. Now welcome back to the instructions, and I'm not just saying this because I just want you guys to watch the video throughout the whole thing, but in this video, I mean, it's kind of hard for me to fit all the important details in one little section. So throughout the video, there's going to be important information that you don't necessarily want to miss, because it's how I got the best out of this tactic. I did start out with positive, I did. So let's go back to the beginning of the season. So I started out with positive mentality, and we got a 4-2 win at home to Wolves, and then away to West Ham we won 2-1. But it was at this game, it was at this moment it was at this game, this moment, where I believed we could have been a little bit more aggressive, because we weren't really controlling the game. This wasn't a tactic or formation or the player roles. It wasn't really designed to control the game, to put the stamp on the game. And I thought later on, against the more better sides or more decent sides, or just later on in the season, this will come back and bite us on the So I decided to switch the mentality to attacking, which is kind of basically more aggressive. It's got a higher tempo, it's got more direct passing, and the players have the license to break forward with more regularity. So I have gone for the attacking mentality. I mean, I've basically gone for the meta. The tempo is on extremely high, and we're also going to work the ball into the box, and that is literally it. Yes, finito. And this is the same because there is 3 different versions. So there's a home version, an away version, and an away version where you play the big teams, the Liverpools, the Man Uniteds, the Manchester Cities. Now you can see that I didn't actually beat any of those 3 teams, but you can also see we didn't get smashed. We're bound to lose a game or two, and the most important thing is, if we did lose, don't get absolutely hammered. And I believe maybe in the Champions League we did. So it was in the Carabao Cup. I thought, okay, we're in the Carabao Cup, so let me play the home tactic, and we got smashed. Luckily, we revived it in the second leg, and if you know me, I don't necessarily play my best teams in the cup competitions, but once we lost 4-1, I absolutely had to play my best team against Manchester City. So what we can actually do is just clear these slots. We can copy and paste, because in the second version we do use the wing back on support, and the instructions, all of this stuff just remains the same like that. And then in the third one, so that away against the very big teams, we've dropped this down to fullbacks. But then the added instructions: get further forward, run wide, dribble more, not take more risk on Reece James. But for Chilwell, it is get further forward, run wide with the ball, dribble more, take more risk, and voila. So you will get 3 versions if you download it on my website. There is going to be 3 different versions. They are basically the same, and the difference in roles is just that the fullbacks are now fullbacks and not wing backs. So going back to the team instructions, and now it's time for the in transition, and we're also just going to stick with the meta as well. So when possession has been lost, we are going to counter press to try and win the ball back straight away, and when possession has been won, we are going to make our counter movements. Again, vital, important information. For the home tactic, we are just going to roll it out, be a little bit more controlling. We don't have to force anything. But for the away tactics, both of them, we're just going to counter press and counter. You are going to distribute it to your fullbacks and throw it long as well. Away from home, distribute to the fullbacks, throw it long, get the ball away from goal as quick as possible. That is the main idea. And then for the home tactic, we're a little bit more controlling, where the goalkeeper is just going to take his time out and just roll dribble the ball out. Now for the out of possession, and again we're just going to stick with the meta. For the line of engagement, we have stuck this on much higher. We are also going to be using the offside trap. You don't necessarily have to if you don't want to. Defensive width, we left it on standard. The standard defensive line, we have also left this. The trigger press much more often, and we are also preventing the short goalkeeper distribution, and that there is pretty much it. Now for the second tactic and the away tactics, again it's pretty much the same. Everything's the same, but defensive width, now we are forcing the opposition away from the goal, which is the outside. So for the away tactics, this is what it's going to look like. We are forcing the opposition away from the goal, but for the home tactic, we have left the defensive width on standard, and that there is pretty much the tactic wrapped up. So I have now loaded the saved version, and as you can see, everything is pretty much the same. I mean, Mount isn't the ball winning midfielder, but obviously these two roles have changed, and yeah, as you can see here, everything is exactly the same. That is the tactic. Now it's time to get stuck into some games. How long have I been recording for? 41 minutes. We may have time to play 2 games, so let's get stuck into this Tottenham game. Yes, I have been recording for 41 minutes, and yes, I do make a lot of mistakes when recording. I can't talk sometimes, but let's load up the Tottenham game first. Let's play that one first, and then get stuck into that Champions League game against PSG. No idea why I did that. Yes, the headphones are on, so we mean business, and this is the team that we are going to go with. It's pretty much the full team. Oh, another tip. Yes, another tip. And I possibly should show you after the game just so you can see it in practice, but I'll show you before the game and after the game as well, just in case some of you skip the video. So after each game, literally after each game, here we are playing against Tottenham on the Saturday, which means our next game is on Wednesday. Yes, it is Arsenal at home. So after this game, what I will do is select all the starting players. So you just drag this here, get all the starting players, right click, training, and rest for 3 days. I done this all season, and we didn't get many injuries at all. We really didn't. And if we go to the injury history, you can see that we currently have 1 injury, which is a slight in our whole squad, and Chelsea's squad is massive. And the injury so far, 22, expected though 105. So rest your players after the game, especially if you're in Champions League. Just literally every game. If your game's in 4 days, sorry, rest them for 3 days. If your game's in 3 days, rest them for 2 days, and literally do the rest right after the game's done, which I will show you at the end of this game as well. I have to remember. So, but let's get stuck into this game. Enough of me talking. This is a big derby. Well, if you are a Chelsea or Tottenham fan, of course. But let's kick off. Let's get stuck into things. Let's go. Jason Taganga on the ball. Lucas Moura. Let's pressure them. Let's win this. Bentancur. Force them back. There's Lukaku. He picks up the ball. And it's 1-0 already.
Injection.
Let's give them an
injection.
Yes, let's give them an injection. It's already 1-0 to Chelsea. I mean, it's 5 minutes played, man. It's a huge error, though. It is a huge error from Hugo Lloris, but then again, that is the pressing from the front. 1-0, Lukaku on his right peg. That's 1 for Lukaku already. Didn't even wait. He didn't even... Oh, his son. But we cut it out. Rudiger, Mason Mount. This could be a long game for Tottenham. Oliver skip, but James cuts it out. Jorginho, Lukaku running wide with the ball. James. Thiago. Plays a long ball. Timo Werner gets it cut out, though. I thought Kante just beat Kane there, but it was Kane that won the header. And Lukaku's through! Oh, he's hit the post. He's almost scored 2 inside 6 minutes. You guys can see why he scored 94 goals now. Mason Mount. Good block there. Højbjerg on the ball. Ben Davies. Oliver Skip. There's Kane. That is nice bit of play there by Kane, but he just can't thread the ball into Son's feet. And there's Ben Chilwell bringing the ball out from defense. I mean, he's just running. Oh, he's played it to Højbjerg. What a poor pass. Oliver Skip plays it back. That is what we like to see, because they're just going to hoof it. Oh, but Kane collects it. Whips it far post to Son. Oh, keeper. Has Ben Davies now. Getting cut out by Ben Chilwell. Timo Werner on the counter. Chilwell. Oh, he skips past the challenge, whips it. Lukaku heads it wide. And it is 1-1 despite Chelsea's first half dominance. But let's get back into this game. Here's Hugo Lloris, Eric Dyer. But Jorginho cuts it out. Benton Core heads it. Jorginho again there. Nice little ball there. Finds Kovacic. Ben Chilwell. Whips it. Lukaku. And it is 2-1. It is a one-man team over here. Romelu Lukaku. And there is the ball from Chilwell. We have tried that a couple times during this game. And it's finally paid off. It's 2-1 to the boys in blue. London is still red though. Best thing now is that we can actually switch to the away tactic now. So that's what we've done. We switched to the away tactic and we've got a chance right away. Mason Mount whips it in. Lukaku there. But it's headed out. James picks up the ball. Mason Mount. Lukaku back in the box and it's a hat-trick! Of course, big Romelu. Ooh. Of course. He scores a hat-trick. Of course he does. Of course he does. I advertise this as my striker scores 91 goals. And it's from Lukaku. And of course he scores a hat-trick for you guys. Absolutely fantastic. Love that. Absolutely love that. Here's another corner now. Mason Mount whips it. Lukaku. Oh, got a save. Oh, we've hit the post. It could have been 4. We could have sent Tottenham packing. But the game ends. Chelsea 3. Tottenham 1. And of course, who scores the hat-trick? Big Romelu Lukaku. Now, I don't know why I get so excited when I speak about Lukaku. But now it's time to load up that Champions League final. What are we doing? Votable zone. Now it's time to load up that Champions League final and see how well we can do in that game as well. So let's go. So here we are, Champions League final day, and well, we've got a key injury here. Mason Mount is injured. Hakim Ziyech has to come in, and also Marcos Alonso's coming in for Ben Chilwell. So we're going to start with the wingback version today as well, on support rather than on attack, because we are playing the Champions League final, a little bit more cautious. And also we have that flexibility. If we need to, we can drop it down to fullbacks, or again, if we need to, we can go a little bit more attacking. So let's get stuck in to the Champions League final. Come on, boys. Well, I support the Gooners, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. 10 minutes in and no highlights for neither team. Has anybody had a shot? No. Surprisingly, nobody's even had a shot. Okay, looks like we're just both grinding out a 0-0 draw here. Oh, we've had a shot. We're the first one, and Donnarumma, of course, makes the save. I mean, what's going on? Oh, here's a highlight. Nuno Mendes throws it to Neymar Jr. Marquinhos, Lionel Messi running with it, but is Kante going to get there? No. That's a poor pass. Kovacic, Kai Havertz. Kovacic, Antonio Rudiger. What a ball out to Marcos Alonso. Whip that, please. Oh, where you going? Whip it. James now. Jorginho, he can whip it, innit? No, none of us want to. We're going to have to work the ball into the box, because you got to get more crosses in. Oh! Oh, they've worked it into the box! Oh, no, wait. Don't go. Ref, no, please. No, 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 no. That was beautiful. Alonso! Come on, what a goal. I mean, I was begging them to whip the ball. I still believe we could have put the ball into the box a little earlier, but that is an absolute beautiful goal. It's Chelsea 1. PSG 0. Chelsea 1. PSG 0. Uh-oh. Silva. Kante plays it to Lukaku. What a touch from the big man. No Timberlands today. Reece James. Hakim Ziyech. Jorginho. Lukaku. Oh, look at the football. Look at the football. Reece James pass it hard and low, son. Havertz. Oh, what a block. Chelsea are on fire. PSG are terrified. Chelsea are on fire. PSG. Oh, they don't miss this as well. They don't miss this, man. They don't miss this. It is ridiculous. They never miss those free kicks. Honestly, they never miss those free kicks. You do, though. It's fine for you to miss them. I notice Hakimi's on a light injury, so what we're going to do, we're just going to tackle hard. Be aggressive. They've had one shot the whole half. And of course, they score a bloody free kick, man. That is so frustrating. Reece James, big Lukaku, hack him. Hey! Jorginho, Lukaku, whips it. Havertz, that's a goal! I was about to do soon. But I don't think Kai Havertz deserves one of those. It's Lukaku, Hakim Ziyech into the box. It's a great tackle there by Verratti. But Jorginho plays it to Lukaku here, and he just... That's a beautiful ball at the far post. The defenders lost themselves. It's 2-1 to the boys in blue. Woo, woo. Donnarumma now with the ball in his hands. He throws it to Kimpembe. Lionel Messi. That's getting cut out, surely. Here's Jorginho, Kante. We are on it. Kovacic. Oh, what a brilliant save. We really need big Lukaku on that score sheet. He's playing 7.1 as well. He's having a decent game. Is there anybody on that pitch I need to look out for? Thiago Silva's not having a good game there. This could be Lukaku's time. Look for Lukaku. Look for Lukaku. Oh, it's Rudiger. I don't think we're going to get a big Lukaku goal. Oh, wait. Wait just a sec. Wait just a sec. As in seconds. Marcus Alonso. I mean, he's got no pace. I don't know where he's trying to go. But there's Kovacic. Havertz. Have that. It's 3-1 in the Champions League final. Finally, I mean, what? The last two videos, I think, or the last two times I went to the Champions League final, we lost. Today, we are the winners. It is Chelsea 3, PSG 1. I mean, we have been the better team. Look at the XG. Look at the shots on target. All of the good stuff. The clear cuts, the half cuts, all cuts. We cut up PSG. It's 3 goals to 1. And Champions League final winners, or the Champions League winners, are Chelsea. So here's the boys all shaking hands with the governor. And now we've got that Champions League trophy in. It's in the governor's hand. Give it to Jorginho. He's got it in his hands. Ooh, hey! We are the champions. And that there, ladies and gentlemen, wraps up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed that, man. That was absolutely good fun. I hope now it kind of helps you create your own perfect tactic as well. If not, just use this. Download link is in the description. The SPITCH link is in the description as well. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you like this video, leave a comment. All of that good stuff really does help this channel out. All the engagement helps this channel out. Thank you guys. Shout out to my Patreons. One love. I deserve to tip my hat to you guys. Peace out. One love. God bless.